قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين.
لله رب العالمين، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this live episode of Ask Zad. Our first caller for today is Yunus from Germany.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salamtullah.
Sheikh, can you give us a general ruling how to behave when we doubt whether something is haram or not? And I don't mean that I doubt everything to be haram, but sometimes I get in a situation in which my parents tell me to do something and I don't know whether it's hard enough so that I'm excused for disobeying them. Or when I doubt whether this and that invalidates my salat, or when I doubt whether that is cheating. Now the thing is,
this is something that you have to seek knowledge and know the limitations that Allah had set for you in the Quran and the Sunnah. There isn't any magical pill that you can take where you can simply identify what's halal and haram. And this is why you have to seek knowledge and learn your religion, learn the Quran, and apply common sense and logic in cases that you don't have a concrete proof, and also apply the default, which states that everything is halal until proven otherwise. Such generic questions won't take you anywhere. You have to investigate, and when you overthink, this is when shaitan sets his biggest trap for you, and this would make you doubt everything. This is the process of overthinking. What if this? What if that? What if my father says? What if my mother says? What if I'm doubtful if it's haram or not? What if it's shirk? What if I committed this thing and this nullifies my salat? This is all overthinking and from shaitan. Hamza from Canada.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My question, Sheikh, is if someone commits kufr from not praying and also commits kufr from multiple other things, then how does this person react to Islam?
Wajazakum. Again, this question is a frequently asked question by people who suffer from OCD and waswas and overthinking. You can't simply leave the fold of Islam without concrete evidence. Entering Islam is done by saying the shahada and the conviction and the actions that follow it. You're a Muslim. To get you out of the fold of Islam, we have to have similar proof that you've exited without any ambiguity while the conditions were fulfilled and there were no obstacles in front of you. Nevertheless, if someone does exit the fold of Islam and commits an act of kufr or shirk or apostasy, to re-enter Islam, he has to have the remorse in his heart accompanied by saying the shahada to re-enter Islam and avoid the things that got him out of Islam in the first place. Musbah from Pakistan.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have a weak memory. Sometimes I forget things. For example, if I make a mistake in a prayer and I tell myself that I have to do sajda suhu, but by the time I finish my prayer, I forget that I have to do my sajda. It is not until the next prayer that I remember I have sajda suhu due. And more often than not, I forget my sajda. What should I do?
As long as you have forgotten, Allah does not hold you accountable for what you had forgotten. As Allah mentioned in the last ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah, رَبَّنَا لَا تُؤَاخِذْنَا إِن نَسِينَا أَوْ أَخْطَأْنَا. Oh Allah, don't hold us accountable if we were to forget or to make an error or to make a mistake. Therefore, if you made a mistake in salat that had to be rectified by performing sujood as-sahw or the prostrations of forgetfulness, and you forgot that even that you forgot, and you remembered it after half an hour or so, the time has elapsed and you have nothing to do except to move on with your life, and Allah is most forgiving, most merciful. Najwa from the UK.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
When we make intention for wudu, for example, to pray for Asr, and Maghrib time comes and we don't intend to make wudu for Maghrib Salah, can we pray with the same wudu, even if we do not attend it?
The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam was reported in an authentic hadith that he performed Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha with one single wudu. And when he was asked, or the companions were asked, why did he do such a thing? They replied, so that he would not burden his ummah, so that he would give them the permission to perform multiple prayers with the same wudu, without any problem in that. Nowhere do we have in Islam that a particular wudu must be performed with the intention of which prayers one is going to pray. So if I perform wudu, I don't have to intend that I want to pray Dhuhr, Asr, maybe Maghrib with that wudu. All what I have to intend is to uplift the minor ritual impurity, which is done through wudu. Once I perform wudu, I am not in the state of minor ritual impurity. I'm in the state of wudu, which qualifies me to pray as many prayers as I wish, to perform tawaf, to read or touch the Quran, to do whatever I need to do while in the state of wudu. With this single ablution or wudu I performed, regardless of what I intended at the time, as long as I intended to uplift my minor ritual impurity. Imran from Sweden.
Long time no see, Sheikh. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hayyak Allah.
So basically, when I was playing a game with a guy I used to know, I think he said that I wasn't a Muslim because I'm white and I'm not ethnically like Arab or a Muslim. And I said that he did takfir, and that means that takfir to a Muslim gets one out of Islam. You know what? I did not tell him that he was a disbeliever, but I told him that he did the action takfir, and I'm not sure if I had told, and I think he didn't know. Have I done invalid takfir?
You haven't done any act of takfir by assuming that he made takfir on you just because he thought that you were not a Muslim due to your complexion, due to the way you look, due to your accent and your name, for example. So a person is not supposed to assume another is a kafir until he verifies it. But at the same time, he cannot assume that you're a Muslim if you are living in a kafir country, look like them, behave and act and speak like them. Unless you say Assalamu alaikum, or you say my name is Imran and the likes. So therefore, there is no takfir here, inshallah. There is only hesitation of identifying a particular brother. If he made the mistake of assuming that you were not a Muslim, he did not do any takfir. He made a mistake. And likewise, when you accuse him of doing takfir on you, that was a huge mistake from your part. That was uncalled for. You should not have said that, and rather assumed the best of it and clarified it, and Allah knows best. Abdel Nasser from Norway.
Sheikh.
Abdel Nasser.
Salaam alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam. And you are?
I am Abdel Nasser.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
Sheikh, it was very pleasure to meet with you. I want to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
I am suffering from a severe waswas about purity.
Okay.
So whenever I just wash my clothes every single day, I just use the toilet almost 3 hours by urinating, defecating, and every single time when I use the toilet, I have to take a shower in order to make sure that I am clean.
Okay. As for your whisper and OCD about purity, you require to have a counseling session if you can afford that, because there is a process which we follow in the counseling session where we help the patients to open their eyes and see whether they are complying with the Sharia or inventing their own Sharia. And definitely, if I ask you this up front, are you following the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ? You would say no. Are you following the Sunnah of the companions, of the Tabi'een, of the Tabi'it Tabi'een? You said definitely not. None of them had ever done this thing before. So I would ask you, do you know more than them? Are you more righteous than them? You would say no. So there's a process we would follow, and I would highly recommend that you take a counseling session if you can afford it. If you cannot afford it, also you have to state that you are poor and unable to afford it, and Allah is your judge and witness, and we will give you one free session, inshallah. Medina from Germany.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
So my non-Muslim mother will probably marry like a Christian man, and I wanted to ask if he will become my mahram even though they are not marrying in an Islamic way.
If they marry in a Christian way, if they are both Christians, and they marry in a church and also in the civil marriage courts or without the civil marriage court, in this case, they become man and wife according to their religion. And hence, he would become your father-in-law according to their religion, and he would become your mahram as well, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Sayyida from Saudi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salatullah.
Yeah, Sheikh. Recently, I bought a plot, but 1 year not completed. And I have the intention to sell the plot after 3-4 years when the value increases. So is there zakat on the plot?
It's an issue of dispute, and the most authentic opinion is as long as it is not displayed for sale, there is no zakat on it, in the sense that you bought a plot and it's sitting there. You don't go to real estate offices and say to them, this is my plot, it is 600 square meters, and I'd like this price for it. If anyone wants, please call me. No, it's there. And therefore, it's not displayed to be sold. And hence, there is no zakat in it. Similarly, if someone says, what about your clothes, Sheikh? Do we have to pay zakat on your clothes? Do I have to pay zakat on my clothes? The answer is no. What if someone comes and says, Sheikh, I'll give you $1,000 if you take off what's on your head and give it to me? Will you be willing to sell it? I said, of course, $1,000, definitely I'm going to sell it. Here you go. So is it zakatable because I sold it for $1,000? No, it's not displayed to be sold like when I go to a shop and I find items displayed, clothes and the likes. These are zakatable. But what we wear, what we possess, what we own other than gold and silver do not fall under the category of zakat, and Allah knows best. Irene from the UK.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
My husband's grandfather changed his surname due to some Sufi order, and this surname has been passed down through the generations, whereas my husband's great-grandfather had a different surname. I just wanted to know, is adopting a Sufi order surname considered a religious sin? Is there a need to change it based on religious considerations? Seeking guidance on this matter. Jazakallah khair.
Wa jazakum. If a man changes his name, meaning that he changes his father's name, his grandfather's name, or his ancestor's name, this is one of the major sins in Islam, regardless of what order he's following, whether it's a Sufi or a Qutni or any of the different fabrics. This is prohibited, and the Prophet ﷺ indicated that whoever does this is in fire. He's cursed by Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, the children must follow their lineage. So if their father decided to pick a particular name, let's assume Muhammad Abdullah As-Sufi, and he added As-Sufi. If this was a tribe, then definitely this is prohibited. If it's a family name, it's prohibited. If it is a nickname, like someone would be called As-Salafi or Al-Athari or the likes, this is a nickname. It is not part of the lineage, and there's no problem in adopting such a name because it's a nickname. But if it's changing the tribe or the cult or the sect or the name of an individual and attributing yourself to a different lineage, this is a major sin and prohibited, and Allah knows best. Ubay from Tunisia.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
It's been a while. I hope you're doing well.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. How can I help you?
Yeah, my question is, we know it's the bare minimum to complete reading the Quran once a month, but is this for reading outside the prayer only? For example, if I read one juz while praying tahajjud and one juz outside the prayer, does this count as reading 2 juz a day, meaning completing the Quran in 15 days? Jazakallah khair.
Wa jazak. Yes, it is not limited to reciting it while in night prayer, tahajjud, or elsewhere. As long as you recite the Quran, this is considered to be reciting it. If you recite half a juz in tahajjud, and then after you finish prayer, you sit down and read half a juz, this means that you finish the Quran in 1 month. If you read 1 juz in tahajjud and 1 juz throughout the day, this means that you've read the Quran once every 15 days. And this is a great reward, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Ahmed from the US. Ahmed.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam.
So I do have a gas problem, yeah. Like I can block the air when it's about to come out. But so many times, like some air escape and stays between my buttocks instead of exiting it. But when I sit down in a certain way, it can completely exit the buttocks. So if I know that my wudu takes 30 minutes and more, and let's say I wake up before sunrise for Fajr Salah and start making wudu, but I finish doing wudu after sunrise. So after praying now, I put my socks on. But can I wipe over them now, like when the whole time starts, and when I want to make wudu again?
Now you're asking me about the bloating and gas escaping, or are you asking me about wiping the socks?
No, it's not about like gas incontinence, for example, you know.
So you're asking me about the socks?
Socks like.
Okay, yes, there is no problem, akhi. Once you make wudu and you put your socks on, you can wipe over your socks for 24 hours. No problem. So after Fajr, you put on your socks after wudu, you go to bed, you wake up in dhuhr time, you perform wudu, you wipe over your socks. From that dhuhr till the following 24 hours, you can wipe throughout the whole day as long as your socks are on. Zubair from the Mauritius.
Problem though.
Zubair.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, I work as a software engineer in a company. The company develops applications for the government, mainly for people to apply for import and export permits. The software, however, includes a part where we need to calculate a penalty or interest fee for those importing illegal goods. Is it permissible to work on that part of the project?
Now, I don't understand your question. Are you asking me about charging people fees for their import and export services?
No, it's a penalty or interest fee for those importing illegal goods.
So if they import illegal goods and you charge them interest for that, you charge them bribe so that you would allow their goods to come in?
It's a penalty fee, in fact, for the government.
It's a penalty from the government itself.
Yes.
And these illegal goods, are they haram items or just illegal?
Illegal goods.
If it's not haram, if it's not liquor, if it's not tobacco, and the government imposes penalties for importing them, there is no problem in you charging these penalties according to the government rules, inshallah. Sumaya from the UK. Sumaya.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum assalam wa
So if I see blood at 8:24, which is like Isha time, and I know it's going to be continuous based on past experiences, and midnight is like 11:33, and I don't pray Isha at that time, and I consider that my period has started, is that okay?
Do you have any options? Your question, Sumaya, is not clear. Once you saw the blood, is it the flow of blood of your menses? Yes or no?
It was continuous, but then I didn't stop to make sure that it was continuous, checking it every 5 minutes.
No. This is not my question. My question is, when you saw the blood after the Isha Adhan, was this the flow of the blood or only a spot or two?
It was blood that was coming out continuously.
Then this is your menses. You cannot spray. We have a short break. Stay tuned, and inshallah, we'll be right back.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I'm going to talk about the book Interactions of the Greatest Leader. Ibn Mas'ud, may Allah be pleased with him, said, "The nobleman of Quraysh passed by Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and with him were Shu'aib, Bilal, Ammar and Khabbab, and other weak Muslims. They said to him, O Muhammad, are you pleased with these people as being your people? Are those the ones that out of all of us Allah has blessed? Are we going to follow those people? Send them away from you. Perhaps if you do, so we will follow you." So Allah sent his verse, which means, "And do not send away those who call upon their Lord morning and afternoon, seeking his countenance." Tafsir al-Tabari.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome back. Brother Mustafa from the UK.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So Sheikh, I used to take pension until I saw your video and got to know that I should not. Now in my pension account, there's obviously my own contribution plus my employer's contribution. And I cannot take this out until I am 57. So like I have no control over it. So my question was, considering this, do I need to account for this in my zakah calculation? Barakallahu feek.
First of all, why do you not take it? Is it voluntary or is it mandatory by your employer?
So it was voluntary and I used to take it considering it would be beneficial. But then I saw your video and I found out that I should not.
And you cannot stay away from it? You cannot claim it?
So whatever amount is in there now, I cannot claim it until I'm 57, which is like twice the age I'm now.
Okay, in this case, there is no zakat upon you because you do not have full access and possession of it. However, once you reach that set age by the government or by the company and they release your payment, you have to give once zakat over it. So you calculate 2.5% of what they give you and give it as zakat and you take the money without a problem, inshallah. Ayan from US.
Hello.
Ayan.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Speak up.
Hello.
Okay, Aftahi from Bangladesh.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, I saw in your prayer video that in the first rak'ah, after the second sujood, we need to give a pause, which is just, which is something I forgot. One of my friends said that the Prophet ﷺ used to do it when he was getting older, but he didn't used to do it when he was young. So I need you to confirm this.
No, I don't confirm anything. It is your friend who is, mashallah, Einstein, who came up with something. He has to give us the proof that the Prophet ﷺ did this only when he got older. This pause before standing, after the second sujood, before standing to the third rak'ah, is known as Jalsatul Istiraha, and it was reported by Imam al-Bukhari, narrated by Malik ibn al-Huwayrith, may Allah be pleased with him, who performed this to his companions, telling them, shall I offer the prayer of the Prophet ﷺ as he used to pray it in front of you? So he was demonstrating to them how the Prophet used to pray. The companions all watched it, and he did this Jalsatul Istiraha, and none of them said, whoa, whoa, whoa. The Prophet did this only when he got old. So your Einstein friend who comes up with such thoughts, he has to bring us a hadith, not from Tom, Dick, or Harry stating that, oh, the Prophet did this from their own whims and desires. If you don't have evidence, you cannot justify this action of a companion through your whims and desires, and Allah knows best. Umar from Sudan.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, Sheikh. So, okay. I was sleeping, right? And like, I had in internal, like, you know, when like many comes out when you're sleeping.
Nocturnal emission.
Yes. So I was like, I'm gonna just ignore it because it's pure. So I let it be, and then I slept and I woke up. When I went to the bathroom, I saw like liquid inside my private part. I didn't know what it was. So I was just like, should I assume that it didn't come out or should I not? Because the thing is, I didn't check my bed. And my friend said to me, just like, see, like lay down on your bed and see where your penis like laid and just clean that part. But I was like, you know, what if that liquid came out? Because the thing is, I was wearing a thobe.
First of all, when a person has nocturnal emission, we know that semen is pure. And hence, whatever comes out at the time is pure. Don't overthink and say, oh, usually semen does not come out except when it's mixed with pre-cum or madhi. So should I treat this as najis or should I continue? No, this is overthinking. Ignore all of this. Whatever signs of semen you find, of many you find on your clothes or on the bed sheets, it is pure, full stop. Zuhair from Pakistan.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Yes, actually the name is Zuhair. It ends with B.
Is what?
Okay. My question is that I would be going for Umrah with my wife and our little 3-year-old daughter. So I told my wife, because she wishes to pray in the mosque with me. So I told her it would be difficult for us to take care of our daughter when we would be praying in the Jama'ah. So it's better if she prays in the hotel room, because a woman is rewarded more by praying at home. But then I felt that would I be sinful by telling her this, because we should not prevent women from praying in the mosque. So kindly guide me regarding this.
No, you will not be sinful when you instruct your wife to pray in the hotel room with the child, because you did not prevent her from praying in the masjid. Rather, you instructed her and recommended to her to pray home for the sake of the child. And without any doubt, her prayer is more valuable and rewardable in her hotel room than in the masjid. This is without any doubt. This is what the Prophet said himself, and anyone who challenges this has a deficiency in his own head and thinking. But if a woman insists and says, no, this is better for my heart, I want to go, I acknowledge that praying in my hotel room is better than praying in the haram, but I want to do this, no problem, you go ahead. But for the sake of the child, yes, the man has the ability to instruct and order and prevent his wife from praying in the masjid due to that reason, not to any other reason. Allah knows best. Abdul Nasser from Spain.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have another question related to football. I heard from a lot of sheikhs that watching football is considered as haram if it makes you lose time, and if the people that play doesn't cover their aura. So what's your opinion on that matter? Because I was gonna watch a football match today, and I did not, inshallah, did not gonna skip any prayer in the masjid. So I don't know if you could tell me what's your hukum about that.
Wasting time is not something that is recommended in Islam. However, it is too generic to say waste of time. Reading a novel is a waste of time. Sitting idle in your home, doing nothing, just watching the ceiling is wasting time. Taking a walk can be considered as wasting time. So you cannot say that this is haram per se. Yeah, it is not recommended. It's best you do this and that. It's best that you utilize your time in something that's useful. But the heart rusts, and every now and then we need to entertain it with things that may not fall under the category of haram, rather in the category of permissibility. So as long as you're praying in the masjid and you're observing your obligation, watching an hour of football once every week or so is not a problem, inshallah. As for the awrah, it's an issue of dispute. Yes, the thigh is a awrah. The thigh of a man is a awrah that we are not supposed to look at, though some scholars say that this is not a awrah, and they have evidences to prove it. But the most likely opinion is, and the safer opinion is, to consider it as a awrah and not to look at it. Nevertheless, lots of the footballers today cover almost the whole thigh with stretches or leggings, they call it. I don't know what they call it. And then they wear the shorts above it, which also goes near to the knee. And the awrah is covered almostly, if not all of it. Therefore, I see no problem, inshallah, in doing that, and Allah knows best. Ayman from the US.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So my question is it permissible for me to, because I'm graduating this summer in high school, and they told me that I need to attend the graduation ceremony. So I was wondering if it's permissible, because we'll most likely have like music, free mixing, and all that. Jazakallah khair.
Wa jazak. This is not a necessity. Attending a high school to attend classes and labs and to get a certificate that enables you to go to college and university is a necessity as a breadwinner of your family. So this is a must. We can't escape or dodge this. But the graduation ceremony is not a necessity. You've graduated, so it doesn't matter whether you go and take your certificate officially wearing their clothes and hats and the likes or not. It's not going to impact your graduation. So when you say that there would be music, free mixing, lots of haram things, the answer is definitely no. You don't have to go there, and you must not go there. Otherwise, this would cascade to the prom as well. You might as well go to the prom and pick a prom queen and do the whole the whole 9 yards and what follows that. No, akhi, we have our identity, we have our Islam and beliefs to abide by, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Samuel from India. Samuel.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam.
My school does not allow me to pray the Dhuhr prayer during school hours. I pray it as soon I come back at home, like about 10 minutes before Asr Adhan. Is my prayer valid?
No, it's not. If it's done 10 minutes before the Adhan, according to the Hanafi school, no, it's not valid, of course, because you're praying it at the time of Asr. We know that the Hanafi school tend to delay the Asr prayer by about 40 minutes, which already the Dhuhr has expired. If your school doesn't allow you in their premises, you can leave and pray outside on the street, in a shop, in a corridor, in a closed room. You don't have to obey them. You don't have to listen to them. This is a sign of weakness of Iman among the Muslims. When a disbeliever, kafir, tells you, no, you're not allowed to pray. The hell with you. I'm going to pray. Tomorrow you're going to say you're not allowed to breathe. Who are you? Oh, he's the headmaster. He's the head teacher. Who cares? You pray as Allah ordered you to pray. Try to find a place to pray without them seeing you. If not possible, leave the school and pray outside at the gates. Nobody could stop you, akhi. This is prayer of Allah Azza wa Jal. And this is why the Muslims are weak and they're stepped on and abused like a doormat, because they're weak. They're afraid of standing up and praying. Who are you harming when you stand up facing the Qibla and offering your 4 rak'ah? Who is harmed by this? Who's offended by this? This is ridiculous. So be proud of your religion and do what you have to do. Jog Niyat from Latvia.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum barakatuh.
I have a question because of the prayer, Dhuhr and Asr. Could I, when I have school, could I lay them together when I have no break at all?
Now, this is every day or once in a lifetime?
Once every week or so.
No, this is not permissible if you have a long lab, for example, that extends from 12 till, let's say, 6 o'clock, 6 hours. Definitely you want to go to the toilet, you want to maybe answer the call of nature or have a cup of coffee. This long time requires a break, and they would allow you to break for coffee or to go to the toilet. Might as well tell them, I want to go to the toilet, and pray your prayer on time in 5 minutes and come back without any problem, because there is no such necessity, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. This is all the time we have until inshallah we meet you, I presume after Ramadan. I would leave you fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين.